Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the opportunity to serve this community. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we begin this meeting. Help us to make decisions that are fair, thoughtful, and in the best interest of all residents. Grant us patience in discussion, clarity in thought, and unity in purpose. Let our actions reflect integrity, respect, and a true commitment to those we serve. We ask that you continue to watch over our city, our staff, our first responders, and keep them safe as they serve others each day. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the format for conducting this public hearing will be in the following manner. The city clerk will read the notice that was published in the Waycross Journal-Herald. Following the reading of the public notice, the appropriate department personnel will summarize a report regarding the petition. The petitioner shall have 10 minutes to present reasons for the approval of the petition, and opponents of the petition shall have 10 minutes to present reasons why the petition should not be approved. Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition of the petition should have registered with the city clerk prior to the commencement of this hearing, and the speaker should give his or her name and address. And if more than one person registers in opposition to the petition, the one who registers first shall be entitled to use the 10 minutes to present reasons why the petition should not be approved. Following the 10-minute presentations, others will be permitted to speak. Each person so desiring to speak shall have 3 minutes to make the presentations. I will determine the order in which these presentations are made, and following the opportunity of all to speak, the City Commission will deliberate the issue and make its decision, or the decisions will be deferred to a later date. At this time, I will designate our city's clerk as the hearing's timekeeper. Madam Clerk.
Public notice. The Commission of the City of Waycross has scheduled a public hearing to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. at the City Hall, 417 Pendleton Street, Waycross, Georgia, for the purpose of considering an amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Waycross, Georgia. A copy of the petition and map of the area are available for public review in the office of the City Clerk at City Hall during normal business hours. Location of property, Marion Street between Burgess Street and City Boulevard, directly next to the City Water Tower. Present zoning classification is R-75 residential. Proposed zoning classification is RM-75 residential mobile homes. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we will call for our Community Improvement Department to give a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Again, this is the public hearing to change the official Waycross zoning map at parcel WA 1902-041 from R75 to RM75. The applicant is Ms. Shakithia Robinson. She is the property owner. The purpose is to rezone the property to allow a mobile home to be put on the vacant lot. The Waycross Ware County Planning Commission heard this request at its regular meeting on March 12th of this year and adopted a motion to recommend approval of the request. The size of the location is approximately 1.2 acres in size. It's bordered on the north by RM75, which is vacant land. On the south, it's R75 and R90, which is vacant land. To the east is R75, which is houses and vacant land. And to the west is R75, and that is vacant land and the water tower. The owner wants to purchase a new mobile home and put on the site. The property can be served with city water and city emergency services. The sewer would have to be extended at the owner's expense to this site. The sewer is not directly in front of this property. Or depending on how deep it is and things like that, they could seek a septic system if the property could be perked by the health department and it meet the requirements to get a septic system. This is the property in question that's outlined in red. And as you can see to the west or on the left is the water tower. This is the current zoning map. The tannish yellow color is the R75. The bright yellow is the R90. And to the north, the darker bluish color is a RM75 zoning district. And with that, any questions?
Okay. We open the floor to the commission for any questions they may have. We'll start with District 1,
No, sir, I'm good.
okay, and District 2.
Well, yeah, Mr. Hawkins, I do have a few questions. And can I make a statement to Mr. Mayor?
Listen,
This was zoned this way years ago because there was an issue with how mobile homes were placed in the community. I was literally beat up by the Georgia Housing Authority, the Mobile Home Authority. I was beat up by the citizens so they understood. And I hate that these persons have spent their money on this, but to go backwards, I don't agree.
and you have a further statement?
That's it.
Okay. And District 5, did you have a comment or statement?
Yes, sir. Can you go back one slide to get that right there? So that blue area is I'm assuming homes, zone for homes, right?
Right up under, you talking about the blue area where Marion is?
Yes.
So that blue color is zoned for mobile homes. So the so there's three different types of mobile home districts in the city. There's R50 MH, R75 MH, and the RM75, which is what that blue color is. The difference is in the RM75, it has to be a double wide. It has to meet certain requirements. They don't have the electrical panel or the electrical service on, like most mobile homes, on a pole. It has to be mounted directly to the home itself. So everything on the north side of Marion Street is RM75, but it's all vacant land. There's the only other house is probably closer to Burgess Street, and then that's where you're getting into. I don't remember if Miss Bursch still lives there, but it's a yellow house that the Bursch's built back in early 2000s, right there at Burgess and Marion. And then everything south, east, and west is R75 and R90.
And the yellow is
The yellow is the R90. And that's the property that the church owns, that's right behind the water tower. I forgot the name of the church, but.
So with that being said, we're looking at 3 different types of mobile home areas there, you said?
No, so there's 3 types in the city.
Types in the city, but just the.
So for this one, it would be RM75. So the requirements are a little more strict in the RM75 as opposed to the R75MH or the R50MH.
Any more questions out here, Commissioner McIntyre? Open up for more.
I'll say this. I'm a compassionate person. I'm sitting there trying to think, because I would hate to be put in the position they're in. I really would. How I can work with them, I because I would hate to be in that position. But to go backwards, because see what's going to happen now if I do this, then the ones who build homes, they're going to be upset. I'm changing that around the area they moved into because it's for homes. Is it any way we can table this and I can talk to them? Is that possible?
Rather to the city's attorney. The thought that I have here is that the zoning and planning commission have already approved it. They just need us to go ahead and put our stamp on this.
So the planning commission is a recommending body. All they do is recommend, and they recommended approval, so you don't have to go with their recommendation.
See,
And I think the options are to do that, table it, or to deny it. I think are the 3 options.
Okay, so with the tabling, there's a motion for that, basically based on the statement made. All I need is a second then. But then here's the other part. I would need all three to agree. To table. But before I do that, I did want to hear the citizen comment first, because they came in to talk, and it's not our time to deliberate until after they have spoken. So what we're doing now is basically ahead of what we would have done. Yeah. So I would like to open the floor to give them opportunity. I think the question was just to Mark regarding how to approach it from this point forward. But at the end of this, we'll have the deliberation.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna ask for these, this is some support, they have 10 minutes. They can share their time.
How you doing? My name is Larry Staten. I live 801 Naomi, apartment 114. Well, my question was, if this is a public hearing, I thought it was, for the public to decide, or however that goes out.
Right, so you can speak toward what you want to talk about.
Well, I was actually, as far as, what's your name, sir?
Simmons.
Sir? Simmons? Commissioner Simmons, okay. As far as what you just said, pertaining to the property, you said that the people will feel offended about getting it rezoned, but the people aren't here.
So you have the right to continue. And I
Oh,
understand
no, that was pretty,
That was all? Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. And I understand what you were saying, because there was a notice in the paper for the public hearing. So those who were for or against could have come to this meeting, but those who are for are present, and those who are, if there are any opposers, they're not present with us, is what you're saying.
Yes,
I got you. Thank you.
thank you.
Do we have another
Can I
person?
ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
Oh, I'll wait till she speaks.
she's gonna speak.
Hello, I'm Shakithia Robinson. I want to say about, there's a notice in our yard for one, making the community aware that there was a meeting today about the rezoning. I actually went around and got petitions signed about the rezoning. No, I don't have them today, but I had them the last meeting. It was a lot going on getting my children off the bus. Secondly, I want to say, please, that land has been sitting there for a long time, not being used. And I just want to put it to get used and leave something behind for my children. So, I don't know what the reason why it couldn't be used before, but I plan on taking good care of it and putting it to use.
Thank you. Now, the commissioners will be considering the actions, but I think the city manager wanted to make a comment, and then I'll open the floor to more deliberation or for more deliberation from the commission.
I just had a question to this couple. Could you explain what year the, I hate to call it mobile home, I thought we'd change that terminology. What year is the mobile home gonna be due? Did you say that already?
What year is it going to be due?
What year is it you made?
It's brand new.
Is it brand new?
From Clayton.
Okay. And it's gonna be for a rental or transitional for a family?
For a family.
I just brought that comment up to the commission. We had discussion about the year of some of these mobile homes. Well, that's the issue a lot of times versus the new manufactured homes, which is the terminology that we should be using for this property. It is a difference there. I understand Commissioner Simmons' issue as well, but I think we had this discussion last year about manufactured homes. Quite frankly, the cost of living here for our residents, these are lower, for our residents, and we have a housing issue. This is part of housing. So I would just ask the commission to take all that into consideration. And we probably do need to have, as Commissioner Simmons just mentioned, an overall discussion back to housing. As you know, we struggled with the other two properties last night, trying to explain that, and this is just another subcomponent of that discussion with the community, because it's kind of standing still right now on everything. And right now, we don't have the ability to bring in those homes that we all want, you know, the 3-bedroom, the dream. So we'll just ask the commission to kind of consider that. I know we talked about this last year, when another couple came in. I can't recall what decision was made, but I will say a new manufactured home, I think looks a little different from the older trailers that we keep having issues with some of our residents. Just want to make that point to the commission, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. With that, I'll open the floor for conversation, and I think, did you have, yes, sir. Commissioner Nelson?
What, I'm gonna address the people, but maybe, what if you could come on?
Could you come back to the point, please? Either one.
What type of foundation? Would it be a skirted, or would it be a brick foundation or concrete slab foundation?
I think it'll be brick. That is what, isn't that what he said last time? I'm
So
sorry.
if I can, so one of the, as I said, the RM75 has a little stricter, so it has to be either a stucco or brick foundation, so it'll be set up like a manufactured house on the blocks, but then the skirting will be the brick. Yes, sir.
So in that petition that you don't have, but you viewed,
I can't remember if I viewed it or if she just had it at the planning commission.
well, how many names did you have in there? Just
About 7. And it's only 3 people that stay in the area, but I went up and down the road. I had 7.
Thank you.
And now Commissioner Simmons wants to speak.
If we were going to consider this, then I recommend that we run from Burgess Street to Senate Street, because other than that, it's spot zoning. And limited to that area only, because what I'm saying, if you do one lot, then somebody be back with another lot. So I'm saying, if we're gonna do this, then run it across that length from Burgess Street all the way to where it meets Senate Street, but everything else stays the same.
So Mark's gonna speak, and then we'll come to Commissioner Nelson.
So I think we would have to carry that back to the planning commission. I'm trying to play it out in my head. So the commission, you can't restrict the request, but you can add to it, I think. And I think this would be adding to it, so I'm not sure if it would have to go back to the planning commission. That might be something we'd have to check on.
Who owns those other properties though?
So we probably have to go back because, obviously the city owns, I'm gonna go back one. The city owns where the water tower is. Not sure who owns this. There's 2 lots here. And then, there's a couple lots here. The land bank actually owns the lots right here under the arrow. And then there's a house here, a house here, and I think that's it. So it would probably be something that we would have to go back and take it to the planning commission, because we would be changing the zoning to that area.
So here's a question. Now, this is something interrelated, and then I'll go to Commissioner Nelson. We had a conversation just the other day about the particular people in districts wanting to keep the zoning the same and building upon the zone that's presently established. What are we doing here?
So again, I think this area was rezoned in the late 90s, early 2000s. And if you go back along Burgess Street and Assembly, there were some brick homes and homes built in that area, and that was the intent of that district at the time, when they petition to rezone this area. There are a few, like this lot here and these two here that are back. There's a couple that were grandfathered in the RM 75 because they had existing mobile homes. So they were grandfathered in. I think 2 or 3 years ago, former commissioner, and the former commission, approved to rezone one along Blackwell at, I want to say Assembly, or Blackwell and,
And not to interrupt while you're thinking,
Right.
but to interrupt while you're thinking. My question was, what is it now? And are we talking about changing it from what it is now to something different?
yes, so right now it's residential site built only. And you would be changing it to allow mobile homes. They could still build site built, but you would be changing it to allow the manufactured housing. That again, it would have the brick skirting. The service would be mounted directly to the house, not on a pole like the old style or in the other mobile home districts. But you would be changing that area.
Commissioner Nelson had some comments.
I think Commissioner Simmons had a great idea about sectioning off part of that. And I mean, that will create a resolution for us to do that. But the board, the zoning board, I mean, not the zoning board, but the planning commission, they typically will not go against our desire. Because we're trying to accommodate her
Right.
and him. So I would say, I would make a motion that we table this for discussion, to make this happen for them.
So we have two motions for tabling. Because there was one made before deliberation, and then now there's one made thereafter. So just need a second.
For the first motion.
It's the same motion.
So this would be the table to go back to rezone, from Burgess to city, just on that one side of Marion Street. That way we would take it, the planning commission meets the second Thursday of every month, so we'd get it on for the next one. And that would also give us time to notify, the residents that it would be affecting there, or try to notify.
Okay.
Well, I'll second.
So we got a motion and a second, and the motion is to take it back to the planning and zoning for the purpose of only going to a particular place to allow for the family to go ahead and have that portion rezoned for the trailer that we placed there. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to take votes, and I'll start with District 1.
Yes, sir, on the table.
Okay, and District 2.
Yes, sir.
And District 5.
Yes, sir.
We have 3, and for the record, we'll go ahead and table it until it goes back to the commission. All right? Any further discussion or any other conversation or any other matters before we close?
Not this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.